The chase is on. The championship is to the wire, and we've taken it to an extraordinary venue to finish the show. Welcome to the season finale of the CRS Sim Racing Championship 2026. There was a change of plans since the last time I called it. We're going to the full Summit Point track now. Howie Burrows with DLBTV as ever, and DLB, you know, it was a last-minute convincing job to get you here, but I'm happy you're here. This track's amazing.
Championship night, baby. I'm excited. We got a championship battle going into this one that's going to be a little bit tight. The entertainment is going to be hot. But before we kick off the action here, we're joined in the booth by Sally Mutt. Sally, what's going on tonight?
What's going on? I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we are MX5 Racing. You obviously got a lot going on in your career right now, but this is more of a college league. We got a lot of college kids in this division. What kind of advice would you give these young drivers trying to break into motorsports, whether if that's sim racing or real life racing?
Well, obviously these kids have a passion for it, so you know it's going to be tough and there's going to be a lot of challenges along the way, but if you're passionate about it, I say you get in there, you put in the work. I mean, obviously we're on the sim right now. We're grinding. The sim helped me a ton when it came from practicing for my real life races. Put in the work and you'll get there. I mean, the marketing is a huge part of it, but ultimately it's where the pace is, right? And these cars are pretty tricky to drive, as you know. Even on iRacing, they're challenging. They're Miatas, but they're still challenging. So getting those results and, you know, getting your pace up in the racecraft too. These cars make for great racing, as you know.
So, obviously, you talked about your real-life racing, and you ran the MX5 car last year. Bit of a change of plan this year. You're making the move to stock car racing, getting into NASCAR, breaking that door down. Tell me a little bit about the change and what your plans are for this season.
Yeah, great question. So, I'm making the transition from road course racing to ovals, going NASCAR racing. And I'm going to start by doing some late models this year and then hopefully working my way up next year with ARCA, Trucks, the O'Reilly Series, and then Cup. And my goal is to be the first woman to win a Cup championship and kind of make myself a household name, make some money while I'm at it because this sport is so expensive. I think the main goal here is, you know, be able to sell the sponsorship and actually make some income because at the end of the day, this is a career. So that's kind of why I made the switch, and honestly, I think I have a knack for this oval stuff. I did the first 2 years that MX5 Cup went to Martinsville. My first time ever racing on an oval, and I absolutely loved it, and got a top 5 last year, and that was kind of the moment where I was like, man, I think I could really do this. So this year, I'm kind of putting myself to the test.
And it's always fun seeing these young drivers climb the ranks, and any fan out there watching, this is your opportunity to watch Sally build her way through the ranks and, you know, potentially be the next Danica Patrick that gets all the way to the Cup Series and can do road, oval, anything. But let's talk about the challenges of being a female driver in such a male-dominated sport.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's not as many female drivers as there are male drivers, obviously. So there is challenges socially, and I think mostly on track. We just get driven a little bit differently, but you gotta earn that respect at the same time, just like everybody, right? I think there is pros and cons to it, though. Pros being we're a little bit more marketable, and when it comes to grinding and getting those sponsorship dollars, I feel like we have an easier time getting those yeses just because we're more unique. And there's less of us, right? But when it comes to the on-track stuff, we got to drive a little bit harder and prove a little bit more why we belong, just because there is a stereotype out there. And I feel like every time I get in the car, I'm trying to prove that stereotype wrong, if that makes sense. But honestly, I like it. It's really motivating for me, and the challenge keeps me super passionate about the sport.
Absolutely. And then finally, my last question here is, we're MX5 racing tonight. I mean, you've been running this professionally. Can you tell me a little about these cars in the series, the challenges of driving these cars? And, you know, they put on such a great show, a lot of action. The racing is always tight. It's always exciting. It seems like nobody can really break away. And just the skill to drive these cars are, you know, where it's at as far as road driving.
Oh, 100%. you could look at them and be like, oh, it's just a Miata, easy enough, right? No, wrong. These cars are super numb. They have power steering, they have ABS, and they have these rear bushings that make the car just super numb. Like, you can't really tell if the car's taken a set unless you have experience. Like, you see, ex-Indy car drivers, ex-F1 drivers, previous Le Mans winners jump in these cars, and the best they can do is a top 10. You can't just jump in these cars and go, win the whole thing just because the series locals who are always running races know the cars in and out. It's hard to beat that. These cars you have to have previous knowledge of. And then on top of that, the racecraft is unlike any other sports car series I've ever seen just because of the roll cage. It's terrible for top speed and aerodynamics, so it forces us to bump draft and basically run in packs. And obviously, bumper to bumper racing is contact. So the more contact you have, the more excitement. And the more the racecraft gets that much more intense. You're constantly 3 wide going into the corner. So code brown moments are kind of common in this series. And I think it's really, really helped me grow as a driver in terms of racecraft and learning a car that's super numb. And I feel like if you can make this car go fast, you can jump in anything and be relatively comfortable and up to pace pretty quick.
Absolutely. We're in for one heck of a show here tonight. Where can the people find you on social media that want to follow your career and watch it step by step?
Sally Mott Racing, Instagram, on Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok. And my website, sallymottracing.com.
There you have it. Go follow, check it out. Making the move to NASCAR and putting on some entertainment along the way. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight, Sally Mott.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Have a good race.
Absolutely. Hallie, we're heading into it. Tell us about the championship battle.
1 point per position here on this championship. So Luke Mann only needs a reasonable buffer to Jack Williams over the course of the race, but we've already seen how many cars are rolling through turn 1. This is a ridiculously busy grid on a ridiculously high thrills track. I absolutely love Summit Point. I mean, every track on this lineup has been a free iRacing track, so it's starting to become a cliche for me to say, oh, it's one of those classic free iRacing tracks. But I mean, there's a lot of fantastic ones, and we haven't missed and put all some of the bad ones in by accident. Instead, here at Summit Point, lots of high-speed turns that really test you. You go rapid out of turn 3 after that first hairpin, try and hold on to it in 4, and then slow down heavily for the back portion of the track. You're really, really, really on the edge of grip, and you can get some epic slingshots down this start-finish straight. It's very long, and really about exit speed, exiting that last turn. It could be chaotic on the grid today, and there's lots of room, but some turns, the best turns on the track, you don't really want to go side by side, and we'll be keeping a live count on the championship standings throughout the race. This time, by the way, chat, I've been made aware that yes, you can change one side of tyres in these cars, and yes, everyone did that last week. Thank you to everybody that let me know. I just wasn't looking with my eyes at cars in the pit lane. Going to be seeing that again if it's actually you don't lose time taking one side. A lesson for all in the room. I wonder, this track has enough left and right turns. I wonder if that will be the play again. I'm not completely sure. But, we have a big grid for a very, very popular track, bigger than the other one. And in fact, we also have our starting grid lined up. So who is set to take the pole entering this finale? Starting position is going to mean everything here. You're going to want to run away from people pretty quickly. Thomas Bellman, though, is our typical prototypical race winner, and he alongside Dailos Bradus have taken the front row. Jack Williams is in 3rd next to Ferris Krippendorf, and Luke Mann, our championship leader, is in 5th ahead of Brendan Pasola. Don't want to get caught up in wrecks in the middle of the field. That's going to be tricky. Caden Pado is next to Elgin Talwa, and Jack Freeman's next to Cameron McLean. Then it's Jake Rodriguez and Noel Dean. Matthew Bodgering lines up in 13th next to Jackson Hearn. We have Varun Ponsetti next to Jonah Bryan, and Wyatt Roberts next to Hector Arreondo. Avi Raj is in 19th next to Nicholas Konstantinos, and Krian Van Inman is next to Somrit Sanyal. Still more to go down the road. It's got Ryan Marshall, Aidan Springer, Nathan Chang, Jesus Tunon, Thomas Ashby, Zachary Depper, David Wilson, Rohan Ranan, Samuel Caldwell, Dustin Bullock, Peter Saddington, and Alexander Ruffus, drivers not setting times in qualifying. It's 34 on the grid in total today, and it's a long road to the end.
I am excited. So the big thing we have in mind here today is obviously that championship battle. And going into it, we got Luke Mann on top of the board. Jack Williams, second in points. Jack Freeman, third. Thomas Bellman, fourth. Thomas missed a race, but he's been the guy to beat. He's been undefeated this season. He's looking for his 4th win of the season, but even winning 4 out of 5 races, it may just not be enough for the championship. It's a fun story. We're gridding up. It's almost go time. It's almost show time from Summit Point. Thomas Bellman is on the pole. He's gridded up. He's going to be going for the win here tonight.
Going for the win might not be enough to get a championship. Many drivers behind them are going to have to run into problems if there's going to be any chance, although crazier things have happened, let me tell you that. So it could be a busy, scary day on the track for everyone. Drivers just finishing off their gridding. I'm trying to make sure they actually show on the tower properly this time. I swear this worked last week. We're close enough. I'm going to tune that down one more time. Thankfully, we have a little bit of time. And it's going to be a standing start on the grid once more at Summit Point. Look at how far back they go, by the way. That is a little bit scary.
Will it be carnage in turn number 1? The lights are about to be off from Summit Point. The drivers are gridding up. It's time to begin the show, and we're green flag racing from Summit Point. Thomas Bellman sends them into turn number 1. Who will make it? Who will survive such a big field? Everyone is hammered down going into 1. They're going to fan out slightly, but the race is on. The championship battle is on its way. Step number 1 of being champion here tonight is survival. 45 minutes on the clock. Let's get it from Summit Point.
Mostly single file, haven't seen any dramatic moves, and our top 4 pretty much lined out. I'm surprised by that. Usually you see epic dives into the first turn. This time we've been careful. Here's one of the most controversial turns of the track, though. High speed sweeper straight into the toughest braking zone, and we're too wide many rows back. I swear I'm trying to make that tower work, and this week it's just decided, like, today is not its day to behave with me. And you know what? I understand. Last day of the season, we lost an out of daylight savings over here. So it's being grumpy. Doring there by Jack Freeman on Cameron McLean. That is tough sending him back. Oh, it's a bigger wreck behind. Oh, no.
Huge stack up from Summit Point. Multiple cars involved. They're coming back up onto the track. It appears that a few cars are not going to get out of this one. Bit of contact with multiple drivers there. Most made it through. But man, oh man, it's the action getting hot here from Summit Point, or what?
See if we can get a replay of what quite happened there. I'm still trying to diagnose issues with that tower. It's going to bug me until the end of time. Anyway, while we're here is some of the contact. It all sort of happened in the back part of this slower section of the track. We're looking here at the 15 car, but he wasn't the only one. Actually, he is. He's the one that starts it, rear ends, and right in front, more drivers are rear-ended as well. So we have meatballs for Alexander Rufus as well. Here's what happens to him entering the same terms. Quite a few meatballs out here on the track. Quite a few drivers out. Alexander Rufus, Nathan Chang, that was Avi Raj we were looking at, and Nicolas Konstantinos all wiped out on the road. I can't see what happened on the other end of there, but there's just a little bit more contact. One more look on board from above from Konstantinos, then we'll get back to the race. Yeah, it's just carnage down the road. I mean, that happens on the track.
It's Addington, though. Barely got through that one. By near inches. He put in the YouTube chat that he almost died. I think he missed that one by maybe a quarter of an inch. Unbelievable. 4 cars stack up on the first lap. 42 minutes remaining on the clock. Bellman continuing to lead. Luke Mann is running in the 4th position. He knows his championship battle is on the line, and he's trying to do everything he can do here tonight to go get that win. is going to be hot. The action is going to be tight. Surviving is going to be everything, but most importantly, you gotta gather every point on track. Every position is 1 point. You gotta get them while you can. Look how close they're cutting it around here.
Luke Mann's where he needs to be with this point system. He pretty much would be in a clean place to take this championship if it stayed where it was. That said, these races never sort of end quite as you would expect them. He'd have a clean gap as well to the driver behind. So he has to not be silly, not make too many mistakes. Here's Naldine pushing quite up. She's done quite well to make it up 3 places from the start, pushing her way past the 14 and the 24 on the starting grid and just moving her way downtown. Dallas Bradis isn't done at all with Bellman, but here's Jack Williams on the inside of Caden Pado. This is one of the most important corners on the track, but you want to run very, very wide. There's a lot of tarmac here on the exit. You can use all of that, and that's how you're going to get most of your speed, by treating it by like a wider turn than it really is. Now watch this drafting down the straight. Some of the smartest drivers might bump each other. Up ahead, Brendan Fasola tries to duck out the way of Luke Mann, but Pado and Williams, they're going to try and make the move themselves. It's Williams on the inside. He's going to clear.
So we came into this race with Luke Mann having 133 points. Second place was Jack Williams at 127. Right now, Luke Mann is doing everything he needs to do to win this title. He has to beat Jack Williams. But if Jack gains on him by a couple positions, that's fine. But he has to get a good finish here today. Right now, Luke Mann running in the 4th position. All he has to do, keep his eyes on the prize. Don't get into trouble. You come out here with a top 5, you're likely coming home with the title no matter where anyone finishes. Luke Mann is the guy to beat right now. He may win this title without winning a race this season, but that's mainly due to being the most consistent driver over a 5-week span. Here comes Caden. He's trying to gain some positions. He's going to be looking to the inside here for that 7th position. He thought better of it. He had the momentum, a dive bomb it. He's taking it easy right now, hopping them curbs around here, trying to get a good draft and set up some momentum for the next turn.
Dallas Bradis here has been sort of eyeing in to a chance, but if your exit isn't excellent out of the last turn, the best you can really do is sort of give it a bump and wait for the next one. Ferris Krippendorf is up in 3rd, just sort of tagging in behind, dropped by a couple temps, whereas Dallas Bradis still here. I think he'd like a win. It's very nice to win. It isn't really a championship on the line for a win, so you don't want to take yourself out making it happen for him, but it would be fun to get it done. This is a bold place to pass if you can get really alongside, but if you don't, I've seen a lot of horrible accidents happen onto that turn, trust me. A lot of very, very bad moments. Naldine dropping back in that sector, though. Just lost a few positions on the road. I wonder if anything in particular triggered that one, which was a bad corner exit. It's the gravel. Very easy to take too much gravel on the exit there. Very high speed turn. If you take it almost flat in these cars, but it slows you down for a few turns after that.
So Bradis running in the 2nd position. He's been the guy to beat for round 3 and round 4, and has had a hard time putting the whole race together. He sees the win right there in front of him, and he knows Bellman, he can probably, if he hangs on his rear bumper, he may have a shot. Now, I think we just seen Bellman blink out a little bit there down the long straightaway. If you are Bradis, that is exactly what you want to see. You don't want to wish ill will on any of your competitors, but he knows how hard of a competitor Bellman is, and Bellman's going to fight all the way to the end and likely come home victorious with his 4th win of the season. Here's a battle going on. Noel Dean about to lose a position to Jake Rodriguez on the inside. Bit of smoke there in front of him, as these guys are definitely using all the racetrack they can use around here, trying to gain any advantage they possibly can.
Good outbreak into the turn by Noel. That's how you do it into there. So it's proven that it's possible, but she did have to sort of use the fender of the car there to push the other one just a little out of the way. Jake Rodriguez side by side with a teammate, and then further back we got the Buffalo Bills mobile trying to break up this battle through the middle. That's the 2 of Jack Freeman. Now between the 2, Varam Pomsetti's going to try and come back. up the inside. Kind of want the whole track's width to you to make this turn really work. You want to sweep from inside to outside, but actually it's got a good run. Jack Freeman's going to have the better exit. Some of these drivers, though, they're not using as much of that off-track as they could be. You really want to use every last bit of it. Bit of a free-car fan out here, though. There's plenty of space for drivers to do some stupid stuff here. We can see further up the road. The battle's evolving as well with Noel Dean. Here further back, we want to try and turn 4 into the first turn. You can kind of do it, but I would warn you about contact. That's Sombrit Sanyo sent backwards.
What a save! And they may cut him 3 wide right here, and I believe they are. Maybe they're going to think better of it. No, 3 wide. They're going entry back down to 2 wide. When you see blood in the water, you just want to take it. Big contact! We got a car around in the back. Multiple cars involved. They're spinning into the grass.
Wyatt Roberts is one of those 2 that went around. He's in the blue car here on the outside. Checking that. That's Matthew Bogading. Finally a name that I've said a little bit better than last time. Almost a little bit in that code in that contact. That's unfortunate for the 2 to come together, but that turn is very often like that in a way. Both cars take very different lines through there. It's a very high speed turn. You can't really expect necessarily to be given all the space in the world on the outside because you're going to wash out going flat out. It's pretty unlucky for the 2.
Absolutely. One driver I have my eyes on is Peter Saddington in the Bitcoin machine. He started at the back. He's eyeing a top 20. And there he is up to the 20th position as we see him running. Team Bitcoin getting it done here today. Slowly going to the front with 35 minutes remaining. He started at the tail end. Just wanted to avoid the chaos and be there come the end. Anytime you're starting outside the top 20, you know that you're in the danger zone, and you just got to make sure you take care of the race car, and that's what Peter Saddington is doing so well at right now. So let's give props to the Bitcoin Lambo and the owner of CRS.
He's moving up, 19th now from 31st. Quite easy to cut through some of the chaos as we roll up the field further down the line. Still some close-up battles. Oh, that's somewhere Samuel around. So one more backwards and around. I think he did this one to himself. Might have taken just a little bit too much curb, a little bit too much power on exit. This car's loose. This car's tricky and it's loose sort of on the edge, even on a fixed setup that doesn't quite steer as much as others. If the weight balance isn't right, it's not working out properly. Now, I'm keeping an eye on Dallas Braders because he is staying behind me. Look at that snake in the background, by the way, being led by Jack Freeman. They're literally, I mean, I would suggest that drivers try and work together a little bit here. This is not how you take the straight on Summit Point, and I'm afraid if you race it like this, you're going to end up getting taken out. Trying to break the draft is a little bit counterproductive in these cars. What you want to do is just push the car ahead. Car behind decides to go for the move, though, go for the push, and it's just going to spin the 2 out. You can't really get runs and fly away from them. The 14 there going into the rear, and I mean, oh, no, that's a rejoin. Oh, that's more meatballs. Oh, that hurts.
This is getting big, and most importantly, that was Jack Freeman in the 2 car. He came in 3rd in the standings with a shot at the championship. Obviously, that's over. Take a look at Peter Saddington. Oh my goodness. Let's watch that again. Peter Saddington just split that gap and shot through there. I don't know if he even lifted. Wow. Somehow made it through. Incredible with the Bitcoin machine.
That was exciting, but it's just a thing to call out for anyone watching who is going to be doing future races. You have to be careful how you rejoin the track because very few things make me angry in sim racing, but reversing onto a live track where there are cars flying by down the start-finish might be that thing that gets me there. And that, unfortunately, was very unneeded. It's ended a few races along the way. Now, Dallas Pradis is back like 6 positions. What happened here? He's behind the 3 of Thomas Bellman. Even Thomas Bellman's dropped a place, so something horrible must happen into this first turn. Here's Dallas Bradis. Does the outbreak onto the inside. It's a good outbreak into turn 1, and I have no idea what turned him there. We're going to have to look at that one from another angle because... Or it's the curb, just a bit too much of the curb on the inside. He's in the wrong place at the wrong time, it's unlucky. And Thomas Bellman gets slowed a little bit by the contact. It allows Ferris Krippendorf to sneak on by, but I think that race will still be on down the line. We'll go back to live, and we'll keep an eye on it.
So, we got a battle for the lead right now. Thomas has some right front damage. I'm not too sure how much that's going to hurt him. But for the Ferris fan club, he's doing it right now. In car number 77, he's up front leading. Luke Mann has found his way up to third, and he's now contending for the win. If you're Luke Mann, I'd say lay off the throttle. You got the championship in the bag, brother. Don't put it in any danger now with 30 minutes remaining. Car number 77, he's going to be a bit defensive. Can he be the first man to beat Thomas Bellman? Can he do it here today at Summit Point? I know Thomas is going to really apply the pressure. Here's another battle heating up as there's action going on everywhere around this racetrack. Everyone's being aggressive. Bellman's all over him for the lead, trying to pounce on the 77. All over his rear bumper, just trying to make him slip into a mistake, trying to make him double check his mirror, trying to make him feel the pressure. Almost contact. It's clean so far, but Bellman is applying more than enough pressure.
More and more places being lost and more incidents. I think Brendan Pelosia just went around. I was trying to work out what quite happened there on the standings. Here he is, right in front of Dallas Bradis. I saw some drivers sort of go back and around. Here he goes. He might just be getting forced wide here. Oh, that's a little bit of side-by-side contact into the turn. Sort of gets a little bit dive-bombed into there. And that, let me tell you, Brendan, I just saw him sort of do that cut across the track to try and get back on. I think if you do that, iRacing hits you with a brutal penalty. I can't... I'll check the black flags, but I've seen some big penalties come out from trying to cut across that whole route. But 4 cars into turn 1, being led by Brendan Pelosia, and then the 18-16 Dallas Braid is trying to make up every place he can on the road. These battles are everywhere.
Sometimes when you put yourself behind the 8 ball, whether it's something you're doing or not, like Greatest, you feel a bit of pressure to gain everything back. You want to gain back as much as you can. He knows that he has a car. He is a driver that could have potentially won this race, and he feels like he made a mistake that just cost him, and he's definitely forcing the issue gain back everything. Trouble in front of him. We got a spinner around, and that's going to be a position for Bradis. So see how this is going to work out here. He's going to stay off the group, but obviously a very blinding turn as he's trying to turn around. Brendan, what happened to him? Did he get loose on his own?
Bradis actually takes a shot from the car behind, by the way. He gets away with it, but he actually takes a shot into the turn. I was sort of worried that was going to end badly, but yeah, that's just loose again, and now scrambling for grip. He's got grass all over the tyres. That's not going to help. Bellman's not done, but Bellman might be doing the smarter play on this straight, and that is simple. You can make a move, but the race is 45 minutes, and you get more speed on long straights. This is one of the longest straights in the whole championship. Get more speed on straights on this car by pushing. You know the Daytona Talladega Classic, the bump draft. It applies to these cars. They've got no power. They're very aero limited. On the long straight, give a shot to the car in front and stay in line. It's going to help you. Both of you move up, and then you will make that move eventually. But the race is long. Bellman knows he can get that win if he applies himself to it. Don't need to force the issue right this second, I don't think. If one opens up, he'll take it. But I want to see drivers bump drafting down the straight.
A few things I want to talk about here. One, that third position of Luke Mann. He's leading the championship. Now, he has about 10 points over the car behind him, but Jack Freeman... obviously, he had some issues, so he's out of the battle, but Jack Williams is running in the 4th position, 1 position behind him. So if you're Luke Mann, you can lose, 5 positions or so, and you're going to be okay. You're going to be fine. Right now, Luke Mann needs to keep his eyes wide open, just in case these 2 leaders take each other out. Because if they take each other out, and Luke Mann is involved, goodbye championship title. It's over. He can't put himself in a dangerous position. Let's take a look at Peter Saddington. What happened to him?
Incident ahead, and he's just going to be in the wrong place. That's Jonah Bryan that was turned around, and Saddington finally just can't escape from it. For once, like, finally the incident happens, the car is away. But he didn't get damaged and he's still rolling. I think number one tip, if you're a driver in a position right now like Luke Mann, who was just able to slingshot the two of them, number one is just don't crash. That's like the number one thing I have to tell you. Luke Mann needs to not crash. And if he doesn't crash, he could win this championship. Here's how he was able to get that lead. We were watching the wreck at the same time. Keep an eye on this, but this might have just been a big run down the straight. If the two are holding each other up, I think he's just going to be going that much faster. And that much faster, you don't want to push the pusher. Bellman is pushing the car ahead here quite intelligently, but don't want to push the pusher. We're going back to Daytona. At that point, you got big enough of a run, you can go around the edge, and he wasn't actually that hard contested, that hard going into the turn. So fair enough for him. Leads the field for now. Great thing about leading is that the only thing up ahead that could disturb you is lap traffic. I mean, you could be disturbed from behind. I think that's Bellman dropping into pit lane, taking an early stop. Now I'm going to watch the jacks these cars go up on. We've established from last week, it was my big bad. You can change one side of tyres, but you might not be the play. It might be the play. We'll actually see from what Thomas Bellman does. He has to not miss his pit box, doesn't miss it by much, but I saw that one too on the line. He is taking the lefts. I doubt he'll take the rights. I think that might be a big slowdown, but that car's going to take fuel. That camera's going to change terribly. Can't see anything anymore, and off he goes. So Thomas Bellman wants to change the left-hand tyres. See if more drivers end up doing that.
So this tells me that Thomas thought, now that he was in the third position, that he has better pace than Luke Mann, better pace than Ferris, who just took the lead actually. And what he's trying to do is get off cycle so he doesn't have to race these guys. That's exactly what he's trying to do. He wants to get off pace where he doesn't got to race these guys, and he can just lock in here for the next 25 minutes. And hopefully by the time they pit, he gains so much ground that he'll retake the lead, and he doesn't have to outrace them. He believes he has better pace where he doesn't have to go door to door with them. So right now, Ferris is leading the point with 24 minutes remaining. Still a ways to go. Luke Mann doing everything correct so far with his championship fight. And Luke Mann is going to return to the lead as Ferris is hitting pit road now. He copied the strategy that Bellman just pulled off, so put Ferris in the pits.
So very interesting, the drivers doing this early. Some drivers decided, last race they were going to save it for very late. And every driver here has decided they are just going to run in and take that stop straight away. Again, left-hand side for Ferris Krippendorf. Yeah, as you see, the cars remain stopped, so you don't lose time on the tyres. A little bit more fuel to put in. You would lose time taking four. They put it up on the jacks and then have to put it back down by the time the car was already full. But we're signaling right now, drivers know they're not going to make it. They're making those stops quite early on the board. Luke Mann's got clear air now. A reminder of the fastest lap. This wasn't just set, but I can show what the fastest lap was. It was Ferris Krippendorf at 1:20.087. Wonder if we get any 19s this race, by the way.
So what I just seen, Ferris came up pit road and he massively gapped Thomas Bellman by a pretty large margin. That potentially is the race for the win. Right now, Ferris is beating Thomas Bellman right now as we stand, but obviously we don't know what kind of pace Luke Mann is running up front. If you're Luke Mann, I think you just push it as hard as you can and you pit when that time is right. But also, if you're Luke Mann, be smart. What's more important, the win or the championship?
Looking at the numbers in the pit lane, it will reveal why he's gapped him. Simply put, Ferris Krippendorf spent 2 fewer seconds in the box. Now, we did see Thomas Bellman missed his box by a bit, but it wasn't catastrophic and that wasn't 2 seconds. We saw they took the same tyres. It's probably not the tear-off. I think Ferris has gone a little shorter on fuel, done some maths, and thought I can make it to the end and saved 2 seconds in the pit box. That could make all the difference if Bellman isn't really able to catch up. I love Ferris's fans. They cheered him on at Charlotte. I adored every second of that. I kindly got the cam on him, and now he's in position right now to potentially take a race lead and win. If I look at the gaps, you spend about 30 seconds in pit roads, which is going to be really close between him and Luke Mann. There's a 30-second gap between the two cars. It's going to depend on how much fuel Luke Mann takes. That's going to determine whether Ferris Krippendorf comes out in front.
It is going to be a heck of the battle. The chat is saying locked in Ferris. Let's go, Ferris. They're hyped up for him. They're cheering for him. They're hoping that he'll be victorious here tonight from Summit Point. And he is on pit road. Luke Mann is pitting up from the lead.
He has to be perfect.
Let's see where he comes out.
Box. Doesn't miss his box. Can take one set of tires. Seems to be like everyone's going faster on the left. Now, we're going to keep an eye on Ferris Krippendorf as he comes through the last turn. I'll let you know when he's there. Still not yet. Approaching. He's actually just got passed by Thomas Bellman. He's actually got passed by Thomas Bellman entering that last corner. They're battling, going down the straight. I think they're definitely going to beat Luke out of pit lane. There he goes. But they have decided they're actually going to make a chase for it. At the same time, Thomas Bellman gets the lead. We'll see if Ferris can do it into turn one. Then we'll look at quite how that happened. That is a dramatic turn.
So what we are seeing is the battle for what will be the lead, but actually Brightus is up front, running it long right now, trying to lay down some laps and gain back what he lost, but maybe tire wear is playing a bit of a factor as well, and short pitting maybe giving these guys a bit of advantage, but the action is getting hot here from Summit Point. Championship night, championship finale is not disappointing. If you're Thomas Bellman, you came in here with a long shot opportunity. You're going to need some luck, but it's still on the table if he gets a miracle here. And definitely the action is still continuing to pick up as we're watching this battle take place.
It was a clean pass into the last turn on pure pace. That's how Thomas Bellman got it. That's how fast he is. That's how much he wants to absolutely fly away. That second number on the side is the length of the stint. So actually it might be smart to set this to the last pit stop lap so you can see who's stopped and who's hasn't. Currently, Caden Pado's coming into the pits. Thomas Bellman will be leading the race after we've done all the pit stops. Noel Dean currently in third with Arjun Talware, and Dallas Bradus, who is going long. He's doing the reverse strategy. He's going as long as he possibly can and going to try to have the shortest pit stop possible. Maybe he doesn't think tire wear is going to be a significant factor on that right side. More and more drivers stopping in. That's Wyatt Roberts having to get around a lot of lap traffic right now, this top two.
So this will be the fight for the lead, and as you can see, Thomas Bellman is not breaking away from the field like he did in the previous rounds. I mean, he's definitely, with how much drafting help you have here, nobody's letting him really escape right now. And Ferris is hanging on to his rear bumper, hanging on to that draft, hanging on to the pull that he's getting off of his car. And that's allowing, you know, Thomas Bellman to just not break away from the field like he has done every other week. I mean, he's starting to pull away a little bit. Car number 3 definitely looks like he's on it. I mean, but he has his work cut out for him. I mean, this guy is a complete artist with the steering wheel, with how fast he has been in recent weeks. And obviously, he would have gotten the championship if he didn't miss a round. That's what cost him this season, is running only 4 out of 5 rounds. It was not enough for him to grab the championship. But the man who is looking to grab the championship just moved into the 5th position. That's Luke Mann, who just passed Noel Dean for position number 5. The top 2 cars on the track are yet to pit.
No drop rounds. It's brutal if real life gets in the way. It's pretty brutal. Let me tell you, that's someone whose real life got in the way of making one of these shows in the first place. And I'm paid to be here. So, you know, competing for a championship, that's tough. But Bellman wants to try and get every single win and sort of prove something in the first place. Jack Williams is dueling with Brendan Pasola. I'd be saying Pelosa, that's been the next name I've been getting wrong down the chain. Side by side, very, very, very wide there for Williams. That's going to be slow run through that turn. You do not want to be compromised through there.
And what a correction he made, because that could have been disastrous if he would have misjudged that corner by just a few inches and went off track. He is going to continue. Another driver who's in the championship fight, looking like he's going to definitely be top 3 come out of this thing in the points. So definitely a lot of entertainment around here, a lot of action. Seems like nobody's breaking away from the field. Thomas Bellman has now jumped to the 2nd position as car number 33 is on pit road, pitting from the 2nd position.
Dallas Bradis, last driver to stop, and he is going long as humanly possible out here on the track. Trying to estimate how far he'll drop. If I look at the gaps, he'll drop to around 5th. So he's just making best use of his pace as he can, but he's roughly where he would have been. Now, first, Krippendorf isn't done with Thomas Bellman. Thomas has been consistently fast over the last few laps, but Ferris has caught back up within 4/10. And we're really starting to run out of time. Just over 10 laps to go on the track. It's a couple more. I'm expecting 33. We're on 21 right now. It's a small little track around here in Lakeville, Connecticut.
I love the pressure that Ferris is putting on Thomas Bellman right now. Bellman has been undefeated this season, and Ferris on the final round is saying, I'm that guy. I'm him. I can go beat this driver. And he's putting it all on the line, trying to beat Thomas Bellman in round number 5 from Summit Point. He's not letting him get away, and watch this down the straightaway. He gets this draft and just starts slowly sucking up to his rear bumper. And it's not necessarily he's out driving him, he's outsmarting him right now. With how long these straightaways are, you get that draft, it just lets you get right back to the rear bumper, and that is what's making the action so nice here today. We got some more battles going on the racetrack. Caden's going to the inside here, and I think that might be an easy pass going into the next corner, as he's side by side with the 33 machine, who just got off pit road. And he's going to get around him in the dump car.
Dive to the inside, another good place to get a pass done as long as you're aware of the space of the other cars around you. Sometimes some get a little bit lost in the way. Arjun Talwell's not out of this at all, but he's going to need to look for this next turn. It's not completely flat. You need to get some rotation going in, but you really want to be on the absolute edge of grip running through there. It's this one that's totally flat, as you sort of line yourself up to immediately brake harsh into that final sector. He's gotten close. He wasn't able to get alongside, so no space to be given. But, you know, he's staying on edge and tight in there. Races on this track in this car, they are very close. They start very close. They stay very close for about the whole race. Jack Williams has been doing lots of racing as well, as has Noel Dean. There's Dallas Bradis making his stop. A very, very quick one in the lane, so he may actually come out. That stop was so quick, he might actually just come out in P4. He might even dodge that P5 trap. So I think going long has helped him quite a lot, given the fact he was spun out early on in the race. It's quite a good place to end up.
And I want to speak on the Luke Man here, because Bradis just came out right behind him. Bradis is going to be on a little fresher tires. Bradis doesn't have anything to lose here. Luke Man does. He can give up a couple positions. He doesn't have to race these guys. I think if you're Luke Man, you protect the car at all cost. I think that's what he needs to do at this stage of the race. He needs to watch the championship battle. He has this baby in the bag. Don't put yourself in a bad position to lose it with under 13 minutes remaining by trying to get an extra position or what that may be. I mean, look at the point standings. He has 11 points over Jack Williams. That means he can lose 11 positions and still get the title. There's no reason he should have anyone on his rear bumper, on his door, or on his front bumper right now. His goal is to survive. Get to the end. You do that, you come home the champion.
Thankfully, there's no one for Luke Man to chase on the track. In fact, he's the one being chased. And if I were to just give advice to Luke in his ear now, I would say, if Dallas wants it, let him have it. Telling someone to let someone pass on a racetrack is like a crime in itself. He wants that top 3 and he's going to fight for it. But if, you know, Dallas gets alongside, don't defend him to the death and then hope that he doesn't wreck you, just because these things can happen when cars battle close on a track. Next car behind is 12 seconds back. Luke Man could cruise to a championship right now. Absolutely cruise. Brendan Pasola diving up the inside of that's Jack Williams diving inside of Brendan Pasola, and Caden Pado's looking to try and get some of the same done. Love that turn in every car. My favourite car to take that turn is the FS 1600 though. So joy, just trying to beg that thing not to spin out from under you. Here's Dallas Bradis up ahead once again, all over the bumper. You see, if he's on my bumper, I'm thinking, Do I want the podium or do I want the championship right now? I would play championship, but he can do whatever he wants out here on the track. We'll have to see how it gets played.
I don't like this. Don't be defensive. I'm telling you, you have nothing to gain off this. Give him the position. I think he's finally going to listen, and he's going to pull over and hand it to him, hopefully, here.
Yeah.
It's so easy to misjudge. You can get ran over by 2 inches, and your day is done. You can break 2 inches early. Your day is done. There's just no reason to put up this fight, put up this battle. Let him have it. Now, we got a bit of damage here with Hector as they're going to get collected. Watch out. This put him right back up onto the racetrack. Kapow! Heavy impact.
You see, that's one of the, that's one of the rejoins that is a little bit harder to, like, avoid. Because your car is spinning, he has locked it down. You can hold the brakes as much as you want, but that thing is flying back out onto the surface anyway. I mean, the sign here for Nicholas is slow down, okay? Like, if you're in... Now, we gotta turn it back into his position and think, like, what do you do if you see cars rapidly slowing down ahead of you? You have to sort of just think, like... Do not, like, be careful and try to think, I don't know how this is going to end. He did a good shot trying to shoot through that, but it's a little bit like a Han Solo in the asteroid field, and that's a meatball, and that's him out of that race, unfortunately.
Not the way you want to end the season. You can see he's out of the car already, probably watching a replay on what just happened. Once again, Luke Mann, I'm happy he made the right call there. I'm happy he pulled over, let Brightest take this 3rd position. And looking behind him, I mean, he has, what, roughly 10 seconds before another car is even in sight. I mean, he has quite a gap here between him and Caden. So what he needs to do right now is just cruise this baby around here. Take care of the car. Don't put it in a bad situation. You got 10 minutes and you're going to come home a CRS champion if you just stay in this baby. Thomas Bellman running away with it. He has a 2nd lead over Ferris. Brightest running in position number 3. Luke Mann running 4th.
Luke Mann has 13 seconds to the car behind, so pretty much just has to run. But let's focus on some people who are having a great race. Brendan Pelosa and Cameron McLean battling it out, and Jack Williams trying to run away. Oh, that's a little bit much there on the gravel for Pelosa on exit. That corner is okay to actually dip a little bit of gravel, just a tiny bit, and then stick it all over the track and make it someone else's problem. They're saying F1's a little bit like Mario Kart. Well, Summit Point Raceway has the banana peels. You can just drop behind you on that turn. Argent Tower is also trying to chase down Caden Pado. Drivers just trying to make positions here to finish off the championship. You love your Peter Saddington. Here he is, still battling alongside Somrit Sanyal. Sanyal just got him into the 1st turn.
That rebound, baby. He's looking for a top 15 run. He started outside the top 30, drove up to 20th, got wrecked, and now he's battling for a top 15, and he has hot on the pressure. I think we see contact. There we go. Peter is going to make it through, but there's a fatality behind him. Car number 31 is jumped.
How did this happen? Let's work it out. Bit of a bump into the turn. Don't think that was it. Oh, he's going to do it again. Oh, he gets away with it, and then it's that. That 3rd one is a bit more accidental than the other 2. I think they're just crossing paths. But, you know, car behind sometimes has to slow down a bit. That's Peter Saddington has maybe made the fatality on the track today. Sanya's just trying to wheel it home. Just trying to wheel it home. Just trying to get it moving.
I think it's done.
Got a little bit of carnage on the track. Our biggest moves of the day, by the way, it is Peter Saddington. Ain't that the story of the day, isn't it? Up 16 places today.
Tom again, some more. It looked like Peter, you know, that was just an incident where they both ran together there, where one was coming up, one was coming down. They crossed paths, and before you know it, you got a car jumped. And right now, it looks like Thomas Bellman is still running away with it. Look at the damage on the car up ahead.
Road. I mean, like, he doesn't have to do it. That car's not getting repaired in 7 minutes. So, you know, I respect the drive. Unfortunately, no fast repairs, so that's where he's going to park and end his day. If he was a danger on the track, I'd tell him not to. But to be fair, he made it. He made it to pit road, and that's how you do it in a real race. You wouldn't want to get the tow truck out. That's the humiliating thing to do. You want to take it home.
The thing I love most about these CRS races is how big of fields we have here for these MX-5 cars. It seems like when we have these 30, 40 car fields, we just got action around every single corner, every single turn. There's a story for 25th, as there's a story for the lead and a story for 10th. And with that, there's always action. Everyone's doing their own race. Peter Saddington, the Bitcoin Lambo, he's hyped about a top 15. He was put in the chat, top 15, baby. I earned it. Biggest growth of the season. And he has been getting better and better for every race. He's running 15th, and there may be more on the table if there's more trouble up ahead with 6.5 minutes remaining.
One of our last battles on the track is Argentawa and Caden Pado. Luke Mann's actually the next car ahead, but it's 14 seconds away. There's a lapped car in the middle of it all as well. Trying to make up some final positions in what's going to be just under 5 laps to go here at Summit Point Raceway. It's a throwaway right. People are calling out in the race chat like, look, come on, that traffic. They're annoyed that cars are in the way. iRacing doesn't have formal rules on the blue flags, though. I do appreciate McLean there. If you look at his hood, he's put his name very clearly there on the master logo, which not many people do that. It does make that quite clear. That's McLean. Gonna not make it into the braking zone, but gonna try and hang with Brendan Pelosia for another lap. Luke Mann has disappeared from the track.
He's dropping positions. What happened to Luke Mann?
His car is not here. He has had a network issue. He's been sent to the pits due to connection issues.
Ouch! Oh my gosh, and that's going to be the title! He may have just lost the title with 5 minutes remaining due to connection issues! Jack Williams has taken the points lead with 5 minutes remaining! Unbelievable! What a heartbreaker for Luke Mann! I can't imagine the emotion he's feeling, dropping position after position. His title run is over. Unbelievable! Jack Williams, who came in the second position, may bring home the title. Now let's see where Jack Williams is running at. He's running in position number 6. This thing ain't over yet. I mean, what if he wrecks out? We may just have to give it a third, which may, at this point, Thomas Bellman may become champion. They're wrecking behind him.
Cameron McLean has been sent to the Shadow Realm. Interesting situations playing out here. I'm trying to work out how this works. If Jack Williams wrecks, it goes back to Thomas Bellman. Luke Mann, I'm trying to work out. Yeah, he's still in the pit lane. This is Cameron McLean driving across a nose, down and out, and sent out of the track. So Jack Williams is set to win for now. There's a few more laps to go, though. I mean, we can't really discount anything given that horror. Maybe let's not talk to Luke after the race is over, because I feel like I would be screaming and kicking something over. Like, genuinely, you don't want to see me in that mood. That's one of the worst. That's like the next worst way to lose a championship, next to like a lap traffic car kills you. Now, that would be another awful way. But that one, like, it's in his hands, and there's nothing we can do about it. If iRacing removes him due to connection issues, if he disconnects for a long, there's nothing we can do about that.
I mean, I think everyone watching at sub Jack Williams feels the pain. I mean, I'm sure Jack Williams did not want to win the championship this way, but obviously he's gonna take it how he can get it. But ouch! I've never seen such a heartbreaking loss of a championship. He ran 40 of this 45-minute race doing everything perfect. Absolutely everything. We bragged on him all day. He was pulling over for the traffic. He was pulling over, not racing these guys. All season, he was the most consistent driver. He showed up to every event, got good finishes. No, he didn't win a race, but he outdrove everyone and showed up when it counted. And he's going to lose this title due to a network issue. Unbelievable.
There's going to be a lot of talk about the championship format in Gen 1. There's going to be a lot of talk about how someone can win 4 races on the season and not win the championship at the end of it, first of all. So there's going to be quite a few concurrent things there about how that's sorted and how that's organised, but you know, as it stands, it is the way that it is, and that's how that's decided at the start of the championship, and that will make that. Jack Williams, Thomas Bellman's got about 2 laps to go on the track before he finishes and claims every single win for every single race he's shown up to this championship. He'll be 2 points behind our championship leader, or may make it 3 maybe. Jack Williams wants some more points. I have a feeling that he doesn't quite understand the position he's in right now.
If he wrecks here, this thing's gonna get wild with a minute and a half remaining. So I'm getting reports from the YouTube chat that Luke Mann's chair may have just got launched out his window. So obviously, tempers may be a little high. We got a minute and a half remaining. Ferris has taken the lead.
Bellman's lost, like, I mean, the one thing I say, trust me, I get furious at things you don't want to hear me, but your window's a hard one to replace. Let me put it like that. Here's Thomas Bellman. He lost 4 seconds. So he had a pretty terrible run. Something serious happened here. Side by side with Peter Saddington, scene of the crime. Doesn't actually go into Peter Saddington, but he's turned around from the lead. I'm trying to work out which card it is because there's like 4 that look exactly the same on the track. It was one of these criminals. Where is Thomas Bellman here? Which car is that? Further 2 down the road.
So I believe we have about a minute remaining, and Ferris is going to be coming to get the victory. Let's see if he can make it back around.
It's the 88.
What a race.
After
this
contact
one
with the 88,
been.
Krippendorf is back in the lead of a race. Let's get the fans in the chat out in there, because I'm actually not sure if it's the white flag, by the way. I might be able to find a way to check this one. We've not seen it called, but sometimes the overlay is just a little bit delayed. We'll go, Bodger, yes, I think the white flag is out. It will become the checkered for Ferris Krippendorf after Bellman has contact with Rohan Ranjan. Lapped car, contact with it around. It's going to give Ferris Krippendorf the win of the last race of the season.
Is going to be victorious from Summit Point. He gets it done. But right now, all eyes are on Jack Williams as he's champion. Jack Williams takes home the championship with a 5th place run. He got lucky here today, hit the jackpot, and he's coming home with a championship. All he has to do is get around the final corners here, and he's going to get it done. Ferris wins the race. Jack Williams brings it down the final straightaway. He has won the championship in CRS. Jack Williams gets it done. What a battle.
That's a full season. That marks the end. What you're seeing on the screen right now is unofficial. This is my way of covering myself in case there's a mistake. This is what the software tells me, and they'll do the maths later. This is what we have to determine at the end of it. Jack Williams, 163. Thomas Bellman, 159. He will take 2nd. And Davis Bradis will take 3rd.
So we are joined by Peter Saddington. Peter! Tell me about the season. We just capped off an amazing season. You missed some crashes here today. Brought home a top 15. What a day.
What a day and what a season. Thank you so much to everybody who joined the CRS Sim Racing Championship MX5 Cup. We are so excited that you guys are here. Make sure you get lots of clips. Make sure you post it around. We got $500 going to the champion. We got $300 going to the P2, and we got, I think it's like $150 going to P3. It is awesome. We got prizes, we got swag. Thank you so much, Howie. Thank you so much, Dustin, for all your great work. This has been a great season. Cannot wait for the next season. I cannot wait. You guys are the best. CRS Sim Racing Championship. Thank you guys so much.
You heard it there. Payday going to the top And next season ahead, I'm sure we'll have plenty to announce here in the coming weeks as we're going to put that together. So I think it's time we get a couple interviews here. I mean, obviously, this one's going to be a little crazy. But first, we're going to bring in Ferris, who won the race. Ferris, buddy, you won, baby! You got it done! Walk me through your race.
Yeah, that was well, unfortunate end, not how I wanted that one to end between me and Thomas, but learned our lesson from Charlotte. Did a lot more, put a lot more importance on the fuel strategy, and it was looking like it was gonna be close. Got lucky with the stop coming out into some traffic, helping out there. But no, I'm happy with the result. That was a good race.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, you got a little lucky there with the lap traffic, but I mean, the whole day you stayed on the bumper of Thomas. What was the step up this week of where you could keep up with the man who's been undefeated all season?
I mean, he's got some great pace, and I think today, at least this race, it definitely seemed to be dictated by fuel savings. So I was and this track being very draft heavy, at least that allowed me to stay close to the top guys. And with pace wise, I mean, if we were able to just go full out, he had the pace, and in qualifying he did quite well, had quite a gap on me. So I didn't know how much I'd be actually able to keep up throughout the race, but it turned out that it wasn't too bad, and got the luck this race.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the win. Victorious for round 5 at Summit Point. Ferris got it done, and you got quite the fan base celebrating right now.
Appreciate you guys. I mean, the CTR crew is always great. We had our had a quick turnaround to this one. We actually had our own team feeling at the 12 hours Sebring, and had a good crew of drivers and fans supporting us throughout that. So glad they can make it out, and it's just a great team. Unfortunate end for both our other drivers, Ryan Marshall and Nathan Chang. But good effort. I'm happy with the result.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We're now going to bring in Thomas. Thomas Bellman. Oh man, it was not the result you wanted. Obviously, a bit of trouble there with the lap traffic. Walk me through the day, because you were the guy you beat yet again.
Yeah, got into this one. We know Summit Point's a big draft track. Obviously, it's really hard to break away in these cars, so I knew the race was going to have to be played on fuel, and we did just that, kind of sat behind until the pit stop to save as much as I could, and I guess I overfueled, actually, because I misjudged my calculations, so didn't get the lead I wanted after the pit stop, but kind of got the break I needed, and then unfortunately got caught up in an incident at the end that I wish didn't happen. But it's racing, it's all part of it, but I'm still happy to take home second today.
3 for 4. Your average finish is probably like a 1.1, 1.2. All but undefeated this season. The pace has been unbelievable. Does it sting that, that one missed round cost you the championship?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, yeah, obviously it sucks that we couldn't be there for the championship, but at the same time, like, I was racing IRL that weekend, so at the end of the day, like, I was still really happy that I was there for that. We got the win with the round 3 racing team that weekend, so I'm so happy with what we did in the championship. Really almost pulled off just a 4 race championship for the win, but unfortunately, with that incident tonight, I think it took us out of contention. But I'm still happy to hopefully take home at least a 3rd or 2nd.
Oh yeah, and there's a payday for the top 3, so you may be still cashing out of this thing pretty good here. Congratulations on such a dominant season.
Yeah, thank you guys.
So next we are going to bring in, let's see, we got a few here. Oh man, let's bring in Jack Williams. We gotta bring him in. Jack Williams, you did it, baby! Walk me through it.
Yes, sir, I did. Started off with a somewhat bad incident. I kind of just went off track. It wasn't anyone else's fault. But I clawed my way back up and just kept points racing. Haven't won a race yet, and I didn't win a race all season. But with the points, that doesn't matter. Thanks, Thomas, for not showing up. I'm glad to that one race. but sounds like he had a more fun time with IRL racing. I'm super happy. I'm super stoked.
Absolutely. So were you aware of the championship battle after the disconnection of Luke Mann?
Oh yeah. I was actually talking to Luke a couple nights ago. I got to know him a little bit over Discord, but so yeah, it kind of broke my heart to see that he was out of the race. But I mean, I'll take it. But I'm sad for him.
Absolutely. Well, what a season it was. Champion, what are you doing with your payday? Peter just came in here and told me you got a $500 payday from this one.
Well, I think I have the Moza R5 bundle, and I still have the crappy pedals that came with it. So I think I'm gonna buy myself some nice new pedals. Yeah.
Heck yeah, congratulations. Such a consistent season. You were the guy to beat after 5 rounds. Jack Williams is your champion.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. We got 2 more interviews coming up. Brightus, who finished 3rd, and then Luke Mann. Let's bring in Brightus next. Brightus, top 3 here today. Tell me about it.
Yeah, man, this race was absolutely crazy. The way I spun there when trying to overtake Thomas was abysmal. I mean, I have no clue how I lost so much grip there. But yes, through some intense luck, due to Luke's connection dropping, I think I secured either 2nd or 3rd overall.
Absolutely. Such a fast day. It seems like the last 3 rounds, you've been on it. You've been the guy to beat. What's with the pace improvement here at the end of the season? You've been getting hot.
I guess it's just getting more used to the car, pretty much. Not much else. I mean, yeah.
Absolutely. Congratulations. Top 3 here tonight.
Thank you.
All right, here it is. Luke Mann, this isn't the interview I wanted to do. I can't imagine how it feels right now. Can you walk me through the emotions?
Oh man, it's brutal. It was looking so good. You know, I was talking to the team, strategizing for this race. It was a relatively conservative, fuel strategy, pit strategy we had going. Everything was working out. These races are usually, eventful, and so it was going smoothly for once. And then 5 laps to go, connection drops. I couldn't believe it.
Was there any signs that your connection was dropping? Did you see any blinking cars, or was it just sudden, like internet clicked off for a second?
It was every car on the track disappeared just randomly, like out of the blue. Everything vanished, and then my heart sank. I kind of knew what was happening. It came back for a second, gave me a little bit of false hope, and then dropped again. It was game over.
Well, we'll see the official points at the end. Maybe you held on to a podium there. Obviously, a heartbreak. And, walk me through your day, because you was doing everything right. That's the big thing. I've noticed you pulled over for a few competitors. You were just making sure you protected the car, that you were safe, and that you were locking this baby down.
Yeah, I mean, this needed to be a championship drive. That was kind of, as fun as it is to go trophy hunting, I really wanted to bring home the championship for the Rice Owls Motorsports team. It's too bad how it turned out. But yeah, that was the strategy. I mean, we had good pace today. We were right up there. I think, in practice, I was hanging on to Thomas, which is a feat here because he's rapid in these MX-5s. But, we had the pace to be right up there. It was more... staying out of trouble, being careful with the lap cars. Obviously, the top 3 are getting racy because they wanted to, get the win. And so it was really just about staying clean, which thankfully we were able to do. No issues in the pit lane. Pretty smooth pit stop. It was all working out really well. My plan was just to stick behind Dalius at the end there. Get his toe a little bit, 5 minutes to go, and then just hang out and bring it across the line. So. It's too bad, but it was a good season, consistent season. We showed we could be up there. I usually am more of a prototype and open wheel kind of guy, so jumping into MX-5s was a fun challenge. But I think it was a good season. Too bad, but we'll show them what we can do in real life. We've got a great team here at Rice forming. Molly Vance started everything off. She's kind of the founder, and then we have some great crew members. Boyan, lead tech, and then my friend Carson, he's running all the sponsorship and marketing stuff. So, once we get this program going, I think we're going to be pretty unstoppable when we get to Road Atlanta.
Absolutely. It sounds exciting. There's always next season to grab a CRS sim racing title. Appreciate you for jumping in here tonight, Luke, man.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
That's going to be a wrap for the interviews. Hallie! What a day!
Long season, short season. Why did I just say long season? By that standard, every single season is long. But certainly a dramatic season. Certainly one filled with some chaotic, crazy races. What a place to finish this off. I don't want to know what would have happened at Jefferson, but let me tell you, not good things. That wraps up the end of this season on DLBTV with CRS. And they're going to be back one more time later down the line, later in the year, maybe with some twists on the championship as well. It's been a lot of fun to be along for the ride.
Absolutely. Subscribe. We got a new season coming up. Stay tuned for announcements in the future because the CRS Sim Racing Championship is far from done. This is only the beginning. This is only possible for all the drivers that showed up this season, all the college teams that jumped in, all the viewers at home that kept me hyped up in this commentator booth. Appreciate you guys all season. And that's going to be me and Hallie closing it out here for CR.